Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the first chapter of my book in Can You Please Talk to My Trauma? And this is probably my favorite chapter of this book because I was tapping into my passion and my love for life and starting to venture out in the world after college. I went to UC Berkeley in California, and then I got guided to move to Los Angeles and have an opportunity to work in film production in Hollywood. And so that may sound cool, and yes, it was. However, it was really just moving away and finding a job that I loved. Moving away, finding my independence, and working, contributing, being creative. And so it was a very, very exciting time. I was in my early 20s. My creative juices were flowing. I was in love with life, independent, and the first job I got was at a production company. So I dove straight in, and I don't want to give away too much. So if you want to read more, it's in here, and it's on Amazon and Audible, paperback, Kindle. But why I wanted to make this video is because the phrase, the joy is in the journey, not the destination, is really what I learned in the first chapter of my book. And from being around certain celebrities and wealthy, famous, however you want to say it, directors, producers, actors, I was thrown into the lifestyle of the rich and famous. Remember that show? Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous, right? Long time ago. And I quickly learned that money, and sometimes even doing what you love, doing what you love and money don't make you happy if there aren't certain core values already established or you haven't worked on certain issues. And so I didn't know any of that at the time. I was just full of life, happy, ready to live, and I was meeting people who were already established, making good money and having success, and they weren't happy. So I go into that in the first chapter. But what I wanted to say on this video for today is the lessons I learned, the takeaways from that first chapter are no matter how successful you are, even if you are doing what you love, if you don't have you, if you don't have your connection to you and something bigger, you will never find lasting happiness. And if your old trauma issues, your old family patterns, your old emotional wounds with whatever you've been through in life aren't processed in the right way with the right person and the right tools, then success can trigger pain. I saw that a lot also. So how do we get to enjoying the journey, not the destination? Well, it's the work that I've learned and that I've done on myself that I share with all of you guys on my channels and my books and my program and anything I can offer is it's a process of going within. And so when I lived in Hollywood and I was just vibing and vibrating and just enjoying life, I had people at work, my personal relationships, friends, anyone that was in a successful position, yes, some celebrities say to me, "How come you're so happy?" And I was like, "How come you aren't?" And that led me on the journey where I am today, where these people were showing me that their cup wasn't full. They were empty. So no matter what they did, they kept falling back into what's next. And this is where I want to bring in Jim Carrey. He says, "I wish everybody could be rich and famous so they know that it doesn't make you happy." And that he also said, "I'm probably the only actor you will hear say this. I've done enough, I've made enough, I am enough." And what I take away from that is, are we enough? Have we done enough? Do we love ourselves enough? Maybe we haven't all made as much, but the point is, those were some of the greatest lessons I learned, and I apply them today. So no matter what I do in my life, with the success of my business now, with my work, with my family, I remember I'll find myself getting stuck in that pattern, especially with my business right now being so busy. I'll be like, "Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that." And sometimes I'll get overwhelmed and I stop myself and I say, "No, I don't have to do all that. The joy is right now, where I am building it, where I am working with people, where I'm talking to new people. This is the fun. Where am I going to get to?" So let's say it's all established and running well. Then it's always something else. That's the ego. That's the human condition. The ego, if we let the ego take over, it will never be enough. And in my first chapter of my book, I go into a story of an actor who makes his own films. And he said to me one day, I just had the premiere of this film and it's over. Why do I feel depressed again? And I said, because you're not filled up within yourself. If we as humans are constantly just trying to create something, finish something, do something, then when we get there, it might for a moment feel good, and then immediately we're back to, I don't feel fulfilled. What's next? So how do we enjoy the journey more? It's remembering these principles. And that's why I put the first chapter in my book, these tools. That's why I put the content I did in the first chapter of my book talking about this, because I knew the universe, God, was showing me something. And at first I was very confused. Like, why aren't these people happy? I'm just starting and I'm happy. I don't have success yet. Why am I happy and they're not, right? So I was young, poor, just getting my first job, but I was happier than these millionaires with fame and opportunities, and I was just beginning. So what does that tell you, right? Like, sit with that. It shows me that the present moment, like we always hear, right? Eckhart Tolle, who I love, and God and the divine, that the joy is right now, like right now, right here, right now, in this second. If you looked around your room, whatever you see, where's the happiness? Because it's right in our face. That's the only time we can truly be happy. We can't be happy in the past and we can't be happy in the future because they're not here. We're only happy in the present. Does that make sense? You getting that? So no matter whatever is going on in your life, just keep practicing this. And this is why I do what I do, because when we have old unresolved trauma patterns, stress, overwhelm, I don't care what the word is, something in you isn't feeling good, something's not resolved. When we resolve those, when we go within and do this work, we can get more present and enjoy the sunlight, a tree. Things like that started to happen to me. I look at the moon and the stars every night when I can and I go, whoa. Or I start to see, years ago when I did this work and started feeling better after I went through my trauma symptoms and my healing, I would see beautiful trees and see the magic in them, whereas before I couldn't. So if you can relate to that, that is exactly how it works. Once I got the ick out of my body, not just the mind, I could start to see the beauty in nature, in people, I always could see the beauty in people. I love people. That's one of my strengths. I'm a people person. Not everybody is. That's okay. But you will start to see the beauty in the smallest things. So, lessons and takeaways from the first chapter are: the destination is not the happiness. I know that's such a big one for our egos to get. How do we get the ego smaller and the divine self bigger? These are some ways: going within, connecting more spiritually, healing old wounds, and knowing that the joy really is in the journey. I have had so many friends in the film industry, actors, celebrities with fame, and just get worse, not be happy. And in a way, I guess that was my gift and my blessing, to know I don't have to be like that. I can do it my way and I can be happy. So what is it for you? What is your way in the world that you want to do for you? And what is stopping you from being happy in the moment? Those are some questions I want you to ask yourself and take away from this. And sit with that and ask yourself, what support do I need next? We all need coaches. Even I do. We all need it. I am one. I go to one when I need it. And if you're curious more about the first chapter of my book and what I'm talking about, feel free to check it out. I mean, the book goes into a lot of stuff about trauma, but that first chapter is really fun for me because it shows how to tap into our life force and how people don't, and what happens when we don't. And it's a journey, the whole book is a journey from me actually getting crushed at the height of my joy. I allowed myself to get pulled down because I hadn't established boundaries yet. And that will be a whole nother topic. But for now and for today, how can we find more joy in the journey? Please feel free to reach out. Email me at karlee@karlee.holden.com if you have any questions about how I did all this. Thanks for being here.